certified banger. This was a certified banger.
Check, 1, 2, can you hear me? Alright, sick, we'll get started. What is going on, everyone? How are we feeling today? What is going on? Super excited to hear everyone's tracks. I'm sure we got some bangers up in here today. Whew. Hey, I see some familiar faces in the chat. Let's go. What's everyone been up to today? How's everyone's week been? We will be loading up the first track shortly. Let's get it. So first things first, I do want to make a quick shout out to our first Discord subscriber, UltraBlu. Let's go! So they will be going first today. Let's get to it. Let's hop right in. Let's get started. First, we have UltraBlu Proxy. Let's get it. Just letting you guys know, as a server subscriber, I go through the whole entire track, so the full track length, and I give more in detailed critiques as far as the mix goes, the production, just whatever. So super looking forward to hearing Proxy. Let's get it. It's UltraBlu and M.A.R.S, I believe that's how it's pronounced. Let's get to it. Let me know if you guys can hear this. Sick.
Shit, howdy, bigger on my hip too rowdy. Traffic when you ain't taking my bounty. Took a little 10 with a fifth and I'm drowsy. Look at the snakes around me, cut off the heads, not taking a chance. Look at the way they down me, can't ever rest. I'm taking a stand. Where would they be without me, stuck in the past, no advance. As long as I'm making them proud, I'll do what you can, I'll stick to the plan. Surrounded by cavalry,
Nice.
they tryna battle me, they tryna rattle my focus. But I took no casualties, I just amount green, now we're just pulling up potions. I just stepped in the lobby, we mobbing. She gon' do what I say, she my proxy. Stumbling around, probably bars, probably oxy. Going around, let's get wild, call me Rocky. They can try, they ain't gonna stop me. See the lights, swimming through this dark creek. Starlight, gonna fighting with the cops, please. My line club, bottle fly so you could top me.
And we at the top, we not gonna stop, we going rounds like Rocky. She not a good one, that bitch bad and she naughty. Now she's tryna call me babe, and she's being all up on me. I'm like, hold up, shorty, wait, you don't even fucking know me. Yeah, but that don't matter. Ass too fatter, going up and down on my dick like a ladder. I can take a bitch, but my bitch better. Walked in the room and she got wetter. I stamp on a bitch like a motherfucker letter. Falling for me, but I ain't gonna get her. This is my proxy. I just bought a brand new flex so she can talk. She fapping 1 and 2, she likes her just like Rocky.
Hi, Liza.
Nice. That was a vibe. Nice. Wow.
This was a certified banger.
Wow. That was super sick. UltraBlu Proxy. Let's get it. Wow, that was definitely, I feel like that was my favorite that I've heard from you so far, UltraBlu. Like, seriously, great job with that. Like, I absolutely loved the synths that you had going on. Like, I don't know if you produced this or not, but especially the beginning, like, what's it called? That, it's like super like, hold on, this isn't the track. I don't know why it's going to this one real quick. Let's get to the previous one. There we go. This part. Like, I don't know if stutter edit was used or like, or grow speed. It sounds like some sort of like mangling plugin that was really going ham on that. Like, I absolutely loved that. And the swing of the drums. Wow. Kudos to you. Because this record was a lot of fun. And the vocal melody that you had for the hook section, I loved. I thought it was really catchy, and I loved that it came in, like, I hate when there's like a really catchy hook that happens and it only happens once, but you really drove, I believe it was 3 times on this record that the hook came through. So really kudos to you on that. And the, what's it called, not only did you sound great on this record, so did the other vocalists that you had as well. I believe M.A.R.S is their name, so shout out to M.A.R.S. Let's go. Seriously, nice work, guys. And I love the kind of like the vibrato-y kind of flutter that I believe M.A.R.S brought. Like, I loved the, it's like very like Post Maloney kind of, what's it called? It gives a lot of different, what's it called? Really cool vocal textures. As well, and even the chat said those background vocals are fire, and I completely agree. Like, seriously, this track was very well arranged. As far as the critiques that I have for the records, I would say starting off, the overall the mix was super sick. I just would watch how loud the overall master volume is, because it seems like it's kind of digitally clipping a little bit, so you're losing a lot of that impact that you could be getting if it wasn't, especially with the kicks and the 808s that you had going on. You can get a lot more oomph out of those instruments if they wasn't so digitally clipping, so just be careful of that. And the vocals, I believe, what's it called? I believe with the first, yeah, your vocals could be raised up a hair, like in the mix. I feel like it's a little bit tucked, because there's a significant change when you are on the track versus the second vocalist, because the second vocalist, it seems like they're just like a hair louder in the mix, and it could just be where they are register wise as well, because they are in a higher part of their vocals, so that the track kind of stays on the low side. Like, there isn't a lot of high frequency information in the instrumental itself. So when you do like a melody that's more on the upper part of the vocal range, it will definitely cut through a lot more, and that's why the second vocalists, when they come on the track, it may be at the same volume, but it's perceived a little bit louder because it just happens to just stick out a little bit more as far as the notes that are happening. I absolutely loved the synth design is really sick as well. And just the overall sound design is really sick. It's really the only thing that's really messing this track, that really missing in this track, is just a really solid mix that would just bring all those elements, and you could get all, like, if the bass was clean and the drums were punchy, like, this record could go. So UltraBlu, definitely, I would recommend just definitely take the time to mix the records, mix this record, and really be careful with that digitally clipping, because you lose a lot of that impact in the bass. And the low vocal synth that you had, I know I've said this before, I believe, but the low vocal, the Foreman shifted vocal that you had is a little bit loud in the mix, so I would turn that down. Or it might just be at a fine volume, and raising your vocals up to where I said, like, to kind of match the second vocalist's volume may just fix that as well. So definitely try that first before lowering the low vocal, because it may just be at a fine volume. And just overall, I feel like the mix is just missing just a little bit of high information, especially what's it called, these synths and your vocals, because the hi-hats are kind of getting drowned out in the mix, and those are usually like the high frequency information you definitely want to hear on those hi-hats and your vocals. So definitely watch out for those things. But it's really just be the main takeaway is just be careful of how digitally distorted your mix is, because that'll take your mix from sounding like thin, and it'll make it sound like everything is just hitting, and I feel like that's just what's missing. But thank you for submitting and also supporting the live/server, so you rock for that. Kudos, let's give it up for UltraBlu. Appreciate it.
This was a certified banger.
Really sick work. Thank you for submitting. Next we have, I believe this is a new face coming through, Notori Overdosed Minecraft note block cover. Oh, interesting. Okay. So that is the 1 minute and 30-second mark. Let's go. Thank you for submitting. Really sick work. I know that it's a cover, but going forward, as far as covers go, just watch for copyrighted content submitting in the streams. Because it is a Minecraft note block cover, it's fine because it doesn't have any of the original instrumental or any of the original vocals, or I'm not familiar with the record. So this one gets the pass because it is note blocks of Minecraft. You really can't get in trouble for that. But as far as like the record goes, it's really cool, and congrats on getting 11,000 views in 2 weeks. Really sick work on that. As far as critiques go for it, the what's that called? The Minecraft sounds, they're cool. I just feel like you could edit. I don't know exactly if you want to like edit them to make them sound fuller or whatnot, or just keep it really true to what it would sound like if you made that on Minecraft. But what I would say is just watch the, what's it called? I feel like you could just get a little bit more creative with the sound design with those Minecraft note blocks. Like you could add some reverbs and some delays and just make them sound really full. So really cool work. Yeah, as long, like Aster, just to clarify, covers are fine, just as long as you don't have the original like instrumental or the original like, what's it called, acapella, or you're not sampling the original at all in the song, then it's totally fine. Because then really the main concern is just YouTube's copyright system, because they're gonna hear that, like even if it's like sampled, it'll like take the what's it called, it'll like copyright strike the account. I'm trying to avoid that as much as I can. So obviously I have no problem with like covers or what's it called, and whatnot. Just be careful with what's it called when you do upload things on YouTube with the original copywritten what's it called, the master recording, any parts of the master recording of the records. So, but as far as like if you did like a guitar cover of a song and you sang it yourself and everything's original of that, you're totally fine. So that, just everyone who's watching, just going forward, just know that's okay. But yes, anywho, thank you for submitting. Next we have Haamid Harris. I don't think you ever was it, just let me know if I'm saying your name wrong. I'm so sorry if I am. But let's take a listen. It's called Lovin'. Let's get it. Okay. Hey, let's go.
Think I need your loving. Think I need your loving. Bitch, you better not be bluffing. Think I need your loving. Give me what you want, girl. Give me what you need. Give me what you want, girl. Give me what you need. Give me the world, this is what you want,
That is the 1 minute and 30 mark. Thank you for submitting. Wow, that was sick. Let's go. No, Haamid Harris, Lovin'. Really cool track. Wow, I always love hearing like those like house records with those like nice kick drums that are happening. And the arpeggiated synth that you had going on was really sick as well. Really great work on that. And I love just how the track progressed as it was going on. It built very nice and the drop was satisfying. As far as the vocals as well, the vocals were really sick. The vocal melodies were really nice. As far as critiques go, what I would say is watch I feel like you can get a little bit more creative with the vocal effects. The vocal processing that you had, I feel, could have been a lot more dramatic, because the vocals felt too dry, and just overall the whole entire track felt a little bit too dry. You could have gotten a lot more creative with your reverb sends and your delay sends, especially like I would go, especially this genre, like you can go crazy with some effects. So
give me what you want, girl.
girl, girl, girl. Like, even try putting like a dotted eighth note delay and automate it, like, what's it called, for the ends of the words that you're saying. So, give me what you want, girl, 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 girl. And it would really add a lot more depth to your tracks as well. And the kick drum could definitely knock more. And those synths, just overall the mastering, you could really, with house music like this, you can really go crazy with the compression. So don't be afraid to really slam it with a limiter either. Just make sure to just watch the attack and release settings, that you're not going too ham to just delete all the transients altogether. But you definitely need to get a lot, what's it called, the track overall needs to be more compressed, I feel, to really be more on point with the genres mixing. So always make sure to use reference tracks as well when you're making tracks like this. But really sick work. Thank you for submitting, Haamid Harris. Love, and let's get it. Also, shout out, we have some more familiar faces in the chat. Yokai Rabbit, what's good? Next we have Expensive Habits by Sir Kage, another familiar face. Let's get it.
I'll be fine while you're mine. Pretty girl, don't waste my time. I've been thinking about my pride. 2 2 3s, I get what's mine. You've been living double lies while you left me to the side. Can't believe that you would lie. Saw it with my own 2 eyes. But you played me and you missed. You can't fix that with a kiss. Thought you loved me, but you dissed. Now I'm smoking to abyss. Stuck in my head, thinking about my past. Saying that you want me, but I won't be your last. Saved you from the street, told me you gon' never leave. Always tried to please you, cater to your every need. Told you I'd be smarter, but the days are getting harder. Loved you from the start, every day is getting harder. Shawty, I loved you from the start, but every time we talk, you played my heart. But my heart got so cold, sitting all alone in this empty cell, singing from my soul. I can't even look at you. It's hard to believe it's true. Why would you do me so dirty? My love for you was so easy. I loved you from the start, but you playing with my heart. Don't be playing games, baby girl, you ain't that smart.
That is the 1 minute and 30 mark. Thank you for submitting, Sir Kage, Expensive Habits. Wow, this is definitely a lot different than the past track the last track that you submitted, I believe. No, it really has, like, the first song immediately that it popped up in my head when I was listening to it was Lucid Dream, Juice WRLD. So you definitely, if you were going for that, definitely head on the nail with that. Really cool track. Love the guitar samples. The vocal melodies were really strong. The vocals were nice up front. I can understand everything that you were saying, which is good, because a lot of the times, I know sometimes with tracks like what's it called, with like heavy bass, sometimes it gets the lyrics get drowned out. So really kudos to you on that. As far as critiques go for the song, what I would say is that the guitar in the background felt like it was too much in the background. I wish the sample that you had was brought up in the mix, because your vocals were so up front, but it felt like it was just like, at times it was like basically it was just your vocals and drums and an 808 by itself, which that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just that you could get a lot more depth with the, I guess that's the what's it called, the term for today. It seems like every stream has a overall arching theme, but today is the depth of your tracks, and make sure that you have, what's that called, the guitars brought up in the mix and spread out, so you have more width in your tracks. But other than that, it was a really sick track. Thank you for submitting, Sir Kage, Expensive Habits. Thank you. Wow. And the chat, yeah, the Juice WRLD vibes, that's what's it called, yeah. That's the consensus of the chat as well. So next we have Shady Party, Freestyle Trap Beat by ScryTV. Sorry if I said your name wrong, but let's take a listen. So that was the 1 minute and 30 mark. Thank you for submitting. Shady Party freestyle trap beat by ScryTV. Let's go. Awesome. Great work on this record. The overall vibe was very ominous, and I loved that you couldn't really tell where it was going to go. It was very unpredictable, which is always nice. They always say that music, all it is just a whole bunch of dissonance and resolutions, and I feel like with this you definitely get that, especially when it switched. The beat did like a little bit of a switch into this what's it called, you went from like this one bell line, and then and then you had this kind of cool synth element that was descending there, that was kind of like arpeggiated, and I absolutely loved that. And the drums overall, like, I just loved the patterns. It was like a fun type track. I would love to hear an artist on this track for sure. So definitely let me know if you ever have an artist. Definitely send that through, because that would be really cool to hear. As far as critiques go for the record, I would say overall the track is very quiet in comparison to the other tracks. So just watch your mastering. Make sure that when you upload tracks, like especially if you're selling tracks online, you want to make sure that your beats are competitively loud, because what happens is, I always try to think of when you're selling something, is always try to get in the headspace of someone who would be your potential client. So when you're going through and your competition, so you want to definitely go through the other beats. Like if you were an artist and you were looking for a beat and you turn on a whole bunch of different beats and one was quiet versus the other ones, chances are they're not going to choose the quiet beat. They're going to choose the one that when they play it on their speakers loud, that the bass is going to be knocking in their face. And I always try to keep that in mind when doing, like when selling things, is always keep in mind like how can I maximize the success of this? So when you add beats that are quiet, they kind of get drowned out in the mix of all the other tracks that are out, because it's just like an artist would be like, I can't even hear this next. So just when you're making, when you're uploading beats, just always make sure that it's competitively loud. And there you could look at, there's a lot of resources online as far as mastering and where you should have your limiter, like how loud it should be clipping at. So just be careful of that. But other than that, no, really sick track overall, very creative, love the cowbell sounds. Thank you for submitting. Next we have a whole bunch of question marks. seen what was said in the group text. Let's get it. All right, peace out, Logan. That was the 1 minute and 30 mark. Thank you for submitting. Really sick track. Thank you.
Banger.
Wow, seeing what was said in the group text. Really cool track. So the first initial thing that popped up into my mind was really how nice and warm the keys sounded in the beginning. It was such like a very it gave me like warm Christmas vibes almost, like just like very homey. And as the track was progressing over, and what's it called? It was getting, you did like this, what's it called? The sample with the call not, like someone not responding to the phone call, and the pressing the buttons. That was cool sound design as well. And that ping pong delay that you had going on was really cool as well. Now, as far as the critiques go, what I would say is the vocals, they sounded cool, but everything, it just needs to just be more upfront. It just felt like the whole mix overall was just kind of just in the background. And I really wish that when your vocals came up, like it was nice and warm, just like the keys were when they came in, and a little bit more balanced as well volume wise. So just be careful of that. And what's it called? What I like to do, like when you're adding like certain sound effects, even if it's something like dialing on a phone and whatnot, I like to make all of these tracks, what's that called? Anyone getting a lot of background noise? Yeah, I could turn off the fan. What's it called? In a second. So I'll do that right after this. So what I would say as far as the critiques go for the record is I would, what's that called? The sound effects that you had going on, I always like to tune the sound effects to the track. So figure out what the key of the track is, and sometimes like just pitch up that sound effect so it's a note in the key. So it just fits in the instrumental well, because if you have like something like beeping on a phone, like it could take your, what's it called, as weird as it sounds, even like everything has like a note to it. Even like when you hit like a glass, because it's like everything has a note, like bum 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 bum. So you always want to make sure that when you add sound effects like that, like try to make them in the key of the track. So pitch up, like don't be afraid to pitch up some of those sounds so that it is in key, as well, as weird as that sounds. Charlie Booth thing. Yeah, but I think it's important because it's another thing that could just really put you in the space of the track and not a less of a distraction. But other than that, really cool track. Thank you for submitting. Let's go. Next we have Solute Yoga Flame. Yeah, that's Charlie Puth. Actually, I'll be right back. I'm going to turn off the fan real quick, so hold on 1 second. So I will be right back, guys. Don't mind me, I'm a noob streamer. Is this better, guys, though? Can you hear the back? Is there a lot of background noise still? I do have a fish tank. Should I hear in my dreams? That's really funny. I can, what's it called? As far as like the background, we good, much better? Alright, cool. So I know from now on, I'll just turn off the fan going forward. My bad. That's a fish tank, by the way. So there's only so much I can do about that one. If I turn that off, the fish will suffocate. So we'll hop into the what's it called, the next track. So next we have Solute Yoga Flame. Apologies, guys. Hold on 1 second. For some reason it's not loading. Thanks, Aster. We have Solute Yoga Flame. Let's get it. Oh, it's a music video. Cool. Let's get it.
See what we can cook up with this shit, man. Yo. Supersonic chronic, mind at ease, feeling the breeze, smoking loud packs with the steez. You already know who it bees. Salute.me, be the best motherfucker on the MIC. Already know how this shit cracking. Real nigga coming off the bench, ready to throw it, pay the man and go deep in your bitch. Already know how a young nigga spit, getting ducats. Ain't playing with them, not in their big Carolina Southside nigga trying to get rich, trying to get a grip, don't fuck with the kid. Nigga just trying to feed his kids, know what it is. Might have to slam a nigga quick. Jackknife Goldberg, show you how to represent. Winning, sinning, losing, grinning, penning, linen, living feelings, God willing, ambition for the work, nigga, pussy lift his skirt, all wild, grab his purse, hit a nigga where it hurts, make a move, then disperse, word, then get out of there clean, rolling up in the time machine, but I got the latest strains, got a little thing to roll up.
That was the 1 minute and 30 mark. Thank you for submitting. Let's go.
This was
That was a
certified
sick
banger.
track, like super sick flow. Reminds me of Kendrick. I don't know. Yeah, I could definitely get that vibe. It's got that like super boom bappy old school kind of what's it called vibe to it, and the vocals like super sick job. Like the vocal flow fit the track perfectly, honestly, and the visuals very interesting as well. What's it called? Just like playing video games and just like chilling out at your home studio. So really cool. Like I love to see it. You guys just like chilling like what is that, Street Fighter? I don't know fighting games like that, so sorry if I seem stupid with that. But I love it because it's like it's not like the music video, it was not like so complicated. It wasn't like anything crazy. Like it was, but it was like it fit the track perfectly. The edits, like you being up front. But super sick track. I peeped the Ableton in the background as well, so cool. Kudos on that. Yeah, off kilter spitting over Kendrick vibe. Yeah, as far as like critiques go for the record, what I would say is the drums could knock a little bit harder. Like they felt, especially the kicks and the snares for sure, and the hi-hats I just wish were just a little grittier. The hi-hats could definitely be a little bit grittier in the mix. They felt like they were just almost like kind of lost altogether relative to everything else.
Bitch, getting ducats. Ain't playing with them, not in their big curl.
But other than that, and the mastering seems, it could just be me, but the mastering is a little bit on the quiet side as well, so just be careful of that. But other than that, super sick track. Thank you for submitting. Salute, Yoga Flame. Let's go. Next we have Traction by EnvyJ. Let's take a listen. Let's get it.
Sketch, you tell him. No one missing tapes, they call up on my Telenova. Yeah, but I just did. You caught my shit mid. I can feel the traction up my ass while you on my lid. So I walk through, feeling unusual. I'm not invitational. We get irrational, yeah. Not 24K, but I'm always golden. 2030, we be dripped out, drowning, they frowning. Lay my fools, they be crowning, be whining while I shining off they grip, shit grinding. Now I'm starting to see my shoe believe pop off. How you go from beam to beast to wearing crop tops? To linking like a charger to a laptop. Intentions really with my stories, a fucking drop top. Reminds me why every song is a different genre. I'm trying to find my sound, I'm a slow learner, slow burner. All my songs be a slow burner. I'd rather be alone than it seems to get a bone. I don't really missing no one. Missing tapes, they caught up, I'm telling no one. Yeah, but I just did. You caught my shit mid. I can feel the traction up my ass while you on my lid. So I walk through, feeling unusual. I'm not invitational. Green getting rational, yeah. She just ran left after you swipe right. Maybe it was.
That was the 1 minute and 30 mark. Thank you for submitting Traction EnvyJ. Wow, what a track. Super sick job. I think the consensus is this is a banger in the chat as well. Since go hard. Yep, nah, this heat. Ooh. No, super sick job. The track was very fun. The chords are a lot of fun as well. I love those, what's it called, when it goes back and forth between, I believe it's the 1 and the 5 over and over again in a minor key. So super sick track. Loved the swing. The swing of the track was really cool as well. And the hook melody they had, dun, 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 like, was also really catchy as well. As far as the critiques go for the records, what I would say is the vocals in the hook. For me personally, I like the, what's that called? I would like them to be a little bit more locked in timing wise, because it felt like it could just be like some of the vocals were just a little bit like a hair behind and it was like just almost there. So I would just really take the time and just really just lock in all the vocals. And sometimes you gotta chop up certain syllables and just make sure that they're layered on top of each other. And when you do some of the notes, I would even, like, me personally, like, you don't have to do this, but this is more personal taste, but I will go in and just make sure that those notes as well are just really locked in as well. What's it called, for the singing hooks like that. Like, you're just a little sharp with some of the notes there, so just be careful of that. And the track overall, like, I love those synths. And the vocals sound a little bit too dry. I think the vocals would be just like a hair more compressed, maybe some like a slapback delay just to really spread it out, and like some, like, what's it called, some delays, like a quarter note delay just in the background, tucked, more felt than heard, and that'll help like bring the vocals out a little bit as well, and just like maybe just a little bit more reverb, like a hair. It's just a little bit too dry. But other than that, super sick track. Thank you for submitting EnvyJ. Next we have hard experimental trap type beat, My Vision raw mix. Okay, so it says raw mix, so we'll keep that in mind. Let's buy My Beats Are Trash. Let's get it. Interesting. Hey, no, that is sick. Wow, that's...
This was a certified
You gotta
banger.
finish that one, My Beats Are Trash. I think that's my favorite one that I've heard from you so far. Like those, like the what's that called? Like you need to like really finish this track, because that 808 was just really knocking. Like I know I'm not gonna critique the mix because clearly it says raw mix. So, but the production, really cool stuff. I love the panning effect that you had on those synths just going back and forth. That was so sick. And what's it called? I really like whenever you are doing that, the mix, just make sure that that bass maintains all of those bass frequencies. Don't drive it too hard, because then you'll start to lose that. But like this as far as the rough mix sounds really clean. Finish this song, My Beats Are Trash, definitely, and get an artist on this, because this would definitely, I would love to hear some like crazy like edits with an artist on this record. Definitely finish this and send it through. I would love to hear it. Thank you for submitting. There's really not much for me to say as far as production. It was clean. Bass was clean. Synths effects were really cool. Transitions were really nice. The only thing is maybe this section here, it just took a little bit to kick in again, but that could also just be an artist just switching up a flow section too. So definitely would love to hear this with some vocals. Thank you for submitting My Beats Are Trash. Let's go. Next we have What's Happening by Austin Cleary. Let's get it.
What's up now? What's up now? What's up now? What's up now? Baby girl, keep yapping to your mates, keep capping to their face, keeping tabs up on my page. Stay the fuck up out my way. What's up now? What's up now? What's up now? Baby girl, what? Yeah. So I step up out my door. What's the first thing that I see? It's my symbol in the sky, and they shine it down on me. My sidekick is my blunt, 'cause we're always together. Stepping in my costume on a brand new endeavor. Heading to the city on a mission for the baddies. She don't need my name, what she needs is my
Oh, that is the Batman sample.
I got that marijuana, I'm supporting Aussie farmers. Batman, Wayne in the same fucking room. Search vigilante from the womb to the tomb. Running to my boys everywhere that we be at. See a man and be like, man, what's up now?
Hey, let's go. Very interesting track. Yeah, apparently Batman sample. I don't know why I didn't recognize it starting out. Funny enough, I don't really know superheroes like that. Sorry, guys. But really cool track. Loved the chords, obviously. It's from the Batman track. So be careful with that sample, man. Be careful with that sample, because you don't want to get in, having to clear all that is a huge mess. So what I would recommend for that is just have someone replay something similar to it and try to sample that as well. Like, you can pretty much get the the vibe of exactly what it is if you have someone get something that's just a little similar to it, like not exact. So just be careful of that. But overall, like, the track could be so much fun. I know I get the vibe that the sample was tucked on purpose to try to avoid any of that like copyright stuff. But just be careful of that. Definitely get it replayed. The track was fun. But if I was to say any critiques, that's the main one. Drums were We're knocking. 808s could be brought up. A hair. I think but I think that's actually maybe not volume wise, but I think the track overall, like, your vocals were sitting on top of everything. So maybe just bringing your vocals down and just getting a limiter and really mastering the track so that everything's just more evened out. That's what I would recommend overall. But thank you for submitting. That was a cool track overall. Definitely get that replayed. But to avoid any of those issues. But thank you for submitting. Next we have Waited by Clip Scott. Let's take a listen.
Clearing jungles of self-doubt, feeling like I'm in the lost and found. Burdens from these heavy clouds, starting to rain now. Can rain forever, says the weather, but the silver lining, there's nothing better. Experience is just a hidden treasure. Letting go forever, good riddance forever and ever. Don't let them tears just run you into Timberlakes. It's just something that's falling for you to sake. Be precious in your wicked mind. Just know your foes only want your demise. And this is wicked times, and never be up on them ceiling fans to go in circle like infinity signs when you're above the lands. Is it a blessing or a curse that I'm always loved, but I'm always loved late instead of the day they expect me to wait. They expect me to wait. Facts seemed out can make it hard to breathe. They called you for the King's disease, common colder than the Dairy Queens. Influencer for your social needs. The medicine from the spiritual Twitter feeds. Give the teachers guns for the youth to seize. Self-diagnosing your anxiety, fentanyl highs and some killing spree. Rapping with big pharma PhDs, masking my emotions and you never see me sneeze. I just stop and let it go. Make sure I have to.
That is the 1 minute and 30 mark. Thank you for submitting. That was Weighted Clip Scott. Wow. Sick track. Loved the vocal sample that you had going on, especially in the beginning. The, what's it called? And it was really interesting how it transitioned to the other key as well. It kind of like you did it first a few, in one key, and it kind of switched over to the key that you were going in as far as the track goes. And your vocals, the flow was really sick. I just wish I could hear your vocals more. Your vocals were very buried, so I couldn't really grasp what you were saying as much as I wished I could. But overall, the track was a vibe. I was really digging the track. As far as critiques go, first things first, obviously, I would raise the vocals overall so that they are louder in the mix. Be careful of the key signature of the sample as well, because it was competing with whatever synths that you had going on in the background. Just be careful when you find a key of a song. That does not necessarily mean that does not necessarily mean that it's labeled correctly. So always just double check that. And I know it's difficult, if you don't know music theory, to really check if it's in key or not. But that's why I always recommend for every producer, and especially anyone who's watching this, is to definitely take the time and learn just basic music theory so that you can learn your scales and your key signatures so that you can avoid this from happening. Because eventually you grow an ear to be able to hear these things immediately, and just be careful of that with the vocal sample. And the drums overall, the kick drum felt a little bit on the muddy side, so I would clean up some of the lows in the kick, and definitely raised the vocals. And I loved the effect that you did. It was like a ping-pongy type effect with the vocals at one point. Here, right here, a ping-pong. Like a ping-pong delay there was really cool. But again, you need to raise your vocals up by 5 or 6 dB minimum. That's all I would say. But thank you for submitting Weighted Clip Scott. Let's go on to the next one. Is Professional Mumble Rappers featuring All the Smoke by TigerBlood Studios. Let's take a listen. Oh, we got some funk? Interesting. Let's get it. Hey, what's good, Logan? All the lyrics. Thank you. That was the 1 minute and 30 mark. Thank you for submitting. Let's go. So called. That was sick. Thank you for submitting. Are you good with me posting your critique on my YouTube shorts so I can save it later and learn from it? Just a public announcement regarding that. You feel free to clip the live. That's why I timestamp it for everyone, to make it easy on everyone. So if you have if you want to take your part and post it on your story, if you want to take your part and post it on social media, or just save it for later, I always make sure after every live stream to timestamp it. It might take it's usually by the next day. So for me, I'm in I'm in the US, I'm in the Eastern Coast. So what I usually get it, I usually finish it by the end of the day of the stream. So the streams usually last until 9 p.m. So usually within 3 hours, it should be timestamped and ready to go. So feel free to go back to the live stream and take any clips that you want, post it online. Feel free also, if you want, it'd be really funny, sample me in your tracks. I don't really care, go for it. So have fun. So just figured I'd say that. So but as far as the track goes, TigerBlood Studio's professional mumble rappers, super sick track. Loved the creativity. It was almost like funk, but it wasn't quite funk. It had those like that 909 or the 808 cowbells that funk typically has. But I really loved how creative you were with the production. Really sick track, and you sounded really good on the track as well. So what's it called? All the comments are like sampling you, my boy. Oh, feel free. But as far as the critiques go for the record, I loved this track. I think this is one of my favorites from you, TigerBlood Studios. The main thing that I would say is raise the vocals. The vocals were buried in the mix, and the mastering could just be pumping. Like, especially with Sakla, it was definitely on the quiet side. So definitely make sure that the volume is at appropriate level when you're, exporting. And especially, like, it just overall, like, it was a vibe. The vocals I would definitely raise, especially your vocals. Like, the compression sounds really good. I just wish that it was just louder in the mix relative to everything. But other than that, that's really all I had to say. It was a really nice track. There really wasn't much as far as that goes. And it says, born from a prank and built over 3 weeks. Happy April Fool's Day, everyone. Featuring all the smoke. So shout out to the description as well. But really cool. Thank you for submitting, TigerBlood Studio. Really, there really isn't much to change with that. Just the mastering and the vocal level. But thank you for submitting. Next we have a broken link. We can't find the playlist. I make sure to put these so that if someone's like, hey, you didn't get to my track, like, this is the reason why. So going forward, just always make sure to test your links before you submit them to live, or just be careful because you might accidentally take it down without realizing it, or you might re-upload something, so I won't have the latest version. So just be careful of that going forward. But next we have Prosperity by 8th Dan. Let's take a listen. Is the submissions limited to save time consumption? Before I get started, before I'll explain. So as far as, like, I go through only the first 1 minute 30 seconds to just get through as many submissions as I possibly can, because I know some songs they'll be like 5 minutes long or 2 minutes, or sometimes songs will be 1 minute long, and they'll be like I'm just don't want it to get to a point where I can't get to everyone. So I really want to make it a point to get to everyone. But there is the option if you want to become a Discord server subscriber, and we will play it's $2.99 a month, and with that, I listen to the whole entire track every time, so, and give a much more detailed critique, and you get to skip the line once a month. But for this month, because we have the first one, I played the Discord subscriber first for the whole entire month. But that's the reason why. Because it'll, like, if we listen to the whole tracks, the streams would be literally 5 times or 3 or 4 times the length of what they are. And some people, I know a lot of people are listening to the stream, they're like, I just want to get to my track, and I totally get that. So I just want to make sure that everyone gets their chance to go. That's really it. But we'll start off with the 8th Dan, Prosperity. Okay. Nice. So that was the 1 minute and 30 mark. Thank you for submitting. Wow, I love the drums on that. 8th Dan Prosperity. Really cool track, and I love the, what's it called? The guitar that had the wah, 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 wah. It's like that West Coast style stuff. I love it. Really cool track. As far as like the drums, I could tell that you were a drummer for sure with those flams that are going on the like really cool. And the groove was really nice, especially like it was locking in with the bass. It was really, really cool. Really, the only, as far as like critiques go, what I would say is the melodic instruments, they sounded a bit thin. So just be careful of that. I would just boost up the low mids or whatever. I don't know what EQ you might be having on certain of instruments that are in the track, but just watch that because it felt a little bit thin overall. And the drums, like sometimes there were times where the timing wasn't exactly locked in as it could be, as in the pocket as it could be. But other than that, like I love it. I would love to hear an artist on this. So definitely send that through if you get an artist. But thank you for submitting. Like really sick track, guys. Today there are some serious bangers. Thank you, 8th Dan. Wow. Yeah, even everyone in this, what's it called? Bass is smooth in the chat says bass is smooth. Like 2 people said that. And the what's that called? Slurp. Sorry, guys. But really cool stuff. Thank you. And if you found this, if you found this stream helpful so far, be sure to hit the like button down below. And if you aren't subscribed, be sure to subscribe. We do this every week, every Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So feel free, make sure to subscribe. And if you would like to get the submission form early, we post it on all of our social platforms. You should be able to find us at @Spacehound Records on everything except for Twitter. For some reason, they only let you a certain amount of characteristics, or X of whatever it's called these days. So it's Spacehound Rec on Twitter alone. But be sure we post the submission form on everything. But if you want to get it, 2 days early, I post it on the Discord server the same day that this drops. So again, Eastern Standard Time, like within the next 3 hours, it'll be on the Discord server. So feel free, be sure to join the Discord server as well to be one of the first ones that get reviewed, because I go by order of who sent it through. So thank you. Let's go into the next one. It's first come, first serve for the reviews. So this is DJ Music Euphoria. Let's take a listen. Nice. So that is the 1 minute and 30 mark. Thank you for submitting. Euphoria, DJ Music. Let's go. Let's go.
This was a certified banger.
Super sick track. Thank you for submitting. I loved it. For the beginning, it was interesting because like the piano, it reminded me of like Linkin Park in the end a little bit. The what's it called? The initial this here. That was like immediately the first thing that came into my mind was the Linkin Park's track, but what's it called? Really cool. Loved the keys clearly, and the what's it called? The drums loved the swing, like the chat was saying. The hi-hats really loved the panning. Definitely loved when people utilize the spatial what's it called, dimensions of the left and right channels. Definitely, if anyone's definitely if you want to add some more interest to something that might just be happening just like the same thing throughout the whole entire track, maybe add a little bit of panning automation to give it some more character and bounce. So really cool job on that. And I love the sound selection for the claps as well. It was nice and dark, and the kick, it was almost like a stomp. Interestingly enough, like it wasn't like exactly like a kick drum, like what you would think a kick drum would be, and I thought that was really creative with the sound design as well. As far as critiques go, what I would say is that the strings were really cool as well. I just feel like they could have been put in a space more so like have like a maybe like a hall reverb or like a cathedral reverb or something along those lines that puts it in the room. So I would definitely do that, and that with the keys as well. You can get really more I feel like you can get more dramatic with the spatial effects with the keys. The strings were really nice, and when it hit here, I just wish that because it really builds, and the riser kind of goes after the drop already happens. Personally, what I would have had the riser end right before the drop, and then maybe have like a crash or just like an impact sound so that the drop really has some more weight to it. So because like it's building, and it's still building, and then it just kind of fizzles out, you know? So you really want it to, when it builds, drop. So that's really all as far as the critiques go. Shout out to DJ Music, consistently posts every week, so really cool to always hear the new stuff you got going on. And this literally was posted 22 hours ago. So dude is on his grind. So shout out to everyone who's posting consistently, guys. Really keep the hard work up. Next we have hands up to Master 6, Immute. Shout out to Immute, also someone who's from the Discord server. Let's get it. Interesting. I love the reverb you have. That's cool.
Making money sounds when she throwing that nash. I told her face, throw all hands up, no sex. We in the studio, and you ready? Guess who's back?
Put your hands on your knees in the back, sipping lean, got a Glock with a beam, just playing. Headache turn me super saiyan for her juice. I am not paying, but her hunger I swim. What you say? If you need some love and care, then I am not the one to call. If you wanna hit the club, then I am in there till I fall. Take a step and make it rain. They call me stiff the way I ball. Talking shit up on my name, I throw a ball.
Hands on deck, it's making money sounds when she throwing that nash. I told her face, throw all hands up, no sex. We in the studio, can you ready? Guess
I told her pussy hands up. I get to swinging in this bitch, go get your mans up. His nose is broken in the bitch, he got no answer. Had to remind him who he is not a gangster. And now we know he is a shit. Wait, hold up, I'll handle you in just a minute. If you wasn't talking shit, it's all good, it's just been prevented. Now I got a body, you and the goofies is in attendance. Boy, you better back down, or you really about to die for your pride. I've been with the gang with my blade at the side. I decapitated you when you grabbed for your 9. Now I'm finna cut you and leave your body behind. Hey, wait a motherfucking minute, that's flawless. Fuck around me, you get your job in the cross shit. Not sure why he gambled when he knew he couldn't dodge it. You switching deal already offered you caution. They told you put your hands up.
Hands on deck, it's making money sounds when she throwing that nash. I told her face, throw all hands up.
Says 1 minute and 30 mark. Wow, shout out to you.
This was
Hands
a certified
up
banger.
to Master 6, Immute. Wow, really sick work on that. Like those, the kick was knocking. Like, wow, really nice work. The what's it called? Immute. Shout out to Immute, because Immute, what's it called? Has been in the server for a minute now too. I believe I met Immute through what's it called? One of the artists that I believe you mix, Still Dill. So shout out to both of them. Really sick work on this. The vocals nice and up front. Wow. in the kicks were definitely they were knocking like the kick drums were knocking. Everything was really in your face. Yeah, still do. Right. Like, really, shout out to you guys. Really nice work. As far as like critiques go for the record, love the synth. The production is crazy on this one. So definitely go hard on this record, Immute. Like, seriously, go hard on this one, because this one is a banger for sure. Like seriously.
This was a certified banger.
Please do get these on all platforms. I would say the main thing that I would say is that the master feels like it's just like the like more fine tuning stuff is the master. I would make the release time a little faster, because I can hear the master, the limiter, like one of your limiters. I don't know exactly what you have on the mastering chain, but one of the limiters feels like it's just latching onto like a little, like a hair too much. Like, especially it's a more obvious as the track progresses, like more towards like we're over here, because you start to lose the transient of the kick the more and more it kind of goes throughout in that section. So just ease up on the release of the limiter a hair, and the just be careful of, because I know you're going for that super distorted vibes. Just be careful that it's not clipping too hard. Just be careful it's not clipping too much, because when it gets to this, you do lose a little bit of the impact of that as well, because I know you're purposely distorting it a lot, but just be careful, because it could also be the limiter wherever you have it set to for the release and attack times for the limiter. So just be wary of that. But I know for this one's a little bit way more specific for the, what's that called? The critiques. But shout out to Immute. Thank you for submitting. Hands up too. Let's get it. Next we have Outstretched, Never Ending. I saw Aster. I did see what you said. You said started around 5 minutes, I believe. If I'm correct, yeah, Master 6. Immute, trust me, I totally get that. I'll be at like Master 13 sometimes, Master 14. Like so I tell, like, as an engineer to engineer, like, I get you, man. Like, it'd be like that sometimes. But shout out, yeah. I believe it's the 5 minute mark, if you can confirm in the chat. Yes, okay, great. Let's start it here. Nice. Nice. Very pretty. That is the 1 minute and 30 mark. Thank you for submitting, Aster, Outstretched and Never Ending. I'm assuming that's probably the Never Ending part. I'm assuming it's 2 songs you put together. But seriously, that was a vibe. I loved the vocal melodies, and then you always come through with the spicy chords. So really kudos to you on that. Like what's it called? Everyone in the chat is pretty much, yeah, it's like really just like one of these sitting on the back porch while the sun goes down. Yeah, this is a cover of Kevin. Oh, this is a cover. Yeah, he's under Reddit. underrated. No, shout out to what's it called? Definitely check that out. But as far as the vocal range, since it is a cover, you know, I can't really like talk on the what's it called, the production, but I can speak more on the mix. Aster, I just watch. I know the drums, they were very subtle. They were very like the lo-fi kind of what's it called, swing to them. Just watch the timing with your other like melodic elements, because I believe you are playing the, I don't know if it's the ukulele or guitar. I don't remember. It does sound like a ukulele. But just watch the timing in regards to that, because it could just be a little bit more locked in. Again, just take the time, just go through the track and just really like pocket shift all of your instrumental things, mute your vocals, and just go like, and just have the drums and just like take the melodic instruments and just shift them or nudge them a little bit to the left or right until they're just really, really locked in. Under-edited is wild. Yeah, I know. Don't mind me. It's been a long week, guys. But other than that, lip sync, like really nice work. And the vocal mixing is really nice. I would say you could even raise the vocals up a hair more, and just overall they could just be a little bit thicker. So try EQing them and maybe add some more like low mids or in a little bit more high frequencies as well to make them a little brighter. Other than that, there isn't really much. Like a track like this, you don't want it to overdo it with the processing. You want it to be very raw and unedited. So what's it called? You want it to be, well, unedited, quote unquote. You want it to seem like it's not like a pop where it's like changing all the time and like chops and everything, but you want it to be very like, keep the emotion but clean. But other than that, really sick work. Thank you, Aster. Again, another person who submits every week. Let's get it.
This was a certified banger.
For my tracks, an album version, a single version, they're both a little different. Hey, that's sick. So this is Rubixx. This is, what's it called? Crime Rims. I'm sorry if I say this wrong. Crime Rims by Rubixx. Let's get it. Okay. Chrome rims, I'm so sorry. Okay. That was Chrome Rims Rubixx. Let's get it.
This was a certified banger.
Wow, that was a vibe. I love how creative you were with that. Like, especially with the vocal effects, like everything. I don't know why it reminded me of like a scary movie, like with how it was like mixed and like it was like very ominous, and it has that like that what's it called, that like kind of noise in the background, that very like ominous like tape noise that you had going on. That was saucy. Really nice work, Rubixx. That's one of my favorites I've heard from you so far. Wow. The what's it called, the record, like honestly, the drums, love it. Vocals, love it. Everything you're doing here. And the bass is like crazy. Rubixx, you really got it. The critique is this needs a mix. Like this needs a mix on this. Like this could go crazy. Honestly, like I feel like that the bass needs to just be like punching you in the face, and the drums need to boom 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 boom, and the vocals be like it just doesn't hit as much as it could. Rubixx, I really wish it was like just like it needs to punch you in the face, this mix. And the vocals are a little too low in the mix. I would bring the vocals up a hair, unless you're like going for that background vocal things. And you can even have fun, like even get fun with have fun with like the vocal chops and whatnot. Like definitely, yeah, I could make it hit. Rubixx, please make this one hit. This one could be nuts. But seriously, I think this is my favorite one I've heard from you. And I've said that a lot this stream, so kudos to everyone. Honestly. Yeah, the vocals definitely need to come up. Yeah, I'd really, really, really like that. That bass line is nuts. What's it called? So definitely do those changes. Submit it again. Please, like do those changes. And last but not least, we have Sir M.A.R.S. Let me see. Oh, is this just a page? Hold on. Oh, I think it's this one. I think it's Left to Find. I'm pretty sure I remember seeing this one being the last one. See, this is Sir M.A.R.S. I'm sorry I can't listen to the song because it has the master acapella. Ah, no, Sir M.A.R.S. Going forward, I'm sure this is fire, Sir M.A.R.S., because you sent some bangers in the past. Just going forward, because you used to submit to the previous stream. Just going forward, like for this stream, I don't take copyrighted content unless it's like a cover. And it's not using the actual instrumental. If everything's replayed and everything, then you're fine. And the vocals are different vocals that, like, if it's like you're the artist and whatnot, like it's like called really, honestly, that like I'm sure this is crazy, this flip, but I don't want to get the channel copyright striked, because what ends up happening is then you can't upload anymore and your channel gets taken down. It's a whole nightmare. So Sir M.A.R.S., going forward, just be sure to just try not to send copywritten samples that are in the tracks. But let's wrap up for today, guys. I will do this switch noob streamer moment here real quick. There we go. Guys, seriously, there was some crazy tracks today. Shout out to everyone here, especially the people in the live chat who stayed from the beginning to the end. Like, shout out to you guys, and I really hope that these streams are very helpful to you guys, and that's really the end goal. Is I want to really help, like, producers, artists, and everything just get the best that they can out of their music. And feel free also, like, if you're in the Discord server, feel free, ask questions, like don't be afraid to reach out to me as well in the Discord server. That's probably the easiest way to reach me. But what's it called, going forward, yes, thank you everyone for joining. We do these live streams every Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so be sure to submit. I will be posting the link tonight within the next 3 hours or so. So be sure, if you are in the Discord server, be sure to submit there, and be sure to hit subscribe button and the what's it called, the subscribe button and the bell icon to be notified every time we go live. And yeah, guys, thank you so much for joining us today, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out, guys. Peace.